Hi, welcome to my channel, Schwinn Addiction. Please like and subscribe, and maybe I'll bring you more content. Right, today I'm going to show you how to tell the difference between repop and original Schwinn Springer forks. Schwinn had a certain way of making their stuff, and there's a lot of characteristics that I look for to tell you if it's a Schwinn or if it's a repop. Right here I have some crate. These are crate parts, 24-inch. These are crates, bent crate forks, 24-inch on my OG 64 lowrider. Got the worn wongs. And these are actually 26-inch, bent down for 20-inch. What I had to do is recurve this. The 26-inch they stuck out straight and they're real tall. So what I done was I recurved this so these bolts were at a certain distance that'll fit the 20-inch, and it gives you a little bit more curve. But actually these are going on a special project, and I'll tell you about that later. So first thing that comes to mind when I see crate forks, let's see if you can tell which ones are repop and which ones are original. They look pretty similar, everything looks the same, but then when you look down into it, get a closer look, and the thing I look for is this curve. With this curve on the repops, it has like a sudden curve, like it goes up and it curves and then it just goes straight. So the curve is kind of small. You just go straight and it has a small curve and then it shoots out. On crate forks, they have a real nice long curve, and that's how I could tell from a distance. You can see the difference on the curves. It's kind of hard to tell when you don't see them side by side, but once you see them up close side by side, you can see the difference. And that's the one thing that I go by. Another thing too, these are cruisers and these are crates, but it's exactly the same on this little curve. The way they press it, it's real round, almost like a half circle. If you look right here, it's real round. And then you look on the repops, and it's like not as round. So let's look at side by side, and you can see the difference on the curves. It's a little bit different. This curve is like all the aftermarket Springers out there. They have the same little half curve almost. It's not same thing down here. It's like a little half curve. And if you look at side by side, you see Schwinn has it's more rounded, more of a curve. It's almost like a half circle. Another thing to look for is the steering tube. Comment below if you could tell me which one is original and which one is repop. I'm pretty sure you could tell looking at it side by side, but if you were to come across this one and it'd be like kind of hard to say, is this real or it's not real? But the one thing to look for is this is a repop and it says 98s. 09. So this, not really sure, but this must be the year and this must be the month, and then it has the company that made it on top. The chrome ain't that good. It looks all doesn't look too bad. I guess there's another version out there that it's a shinier chrome. This must be I think this is the earlier one, and then the later one, like the 99, came out a little bit better. But side by side, this is the original. It has the knurls. This is for crates. There are some 64s that have they're exactly the same thing. The only difference is the thickness of the material. This hole on the 60s, 60, 64, 65 Super Deluxes, they have this, it's the same thing, but the hole is wider, which makes this wall thinner, and it's made for a bigger stem. The stem could fit inside of it. So if you have like a newer stem and you put it inside the 64s, it'll be kind of wobbly. And then the older stems won't fit inside the crates because they're too big. But the early 64s, the early 64s don't have the knurls. And I think 65s have the knurls. And crates have the knurls. But the difference between crate and a Super Deluxe is the thickness, the hole size. And that's pretty much the only difference. Everything else is pretty much the same. You see, the original has like this little lump right here. This one doesn't. This one has no kind of lump. This one looks, the repop looks real perfect. See, it's a lot different too. See how it has cups in. The original has like, it stops right there, and the repop goes all the way through. Another thing to look for is the yoke. This is original, and it has this little lip right here that comes up. That's for the spring seat. The spring sits perfect around there, doesn't shake around. The repop is just flat and it has a hole drilled. So you can tell the difference. These are more sturdier. You can see it's just flat and they just drilled a hole on it. Let's see. Another thing too is that the originals will have an L for left and an R for right. That's another way to tell if you have original repops. The repop doesn't have nothing inside. Nothing else. The hole. See, the hole is a little bit different. I think it's a little bit bigger on the original. This is for the stopper bolt. The original crates, they came with the Atom drum brake, and they had the little stopper bolt, so the drum brake won't move, and the drum brake slid right into the stopper bolt. So these ones just have a hole, but you can tell they're not used. You can tell this hole was used. It had a bolt tightened into it. And got the brake. There's a brake bracket. These I threw on the AS. I threw on the AS because it's a 64 Super Deluxe, pretty much, and everything was AS back then. So I went with the AS theme. Even got the AS bolt on that. Another thing too, let's see if we have some. See if I have some bolts in here. travel bolt. Okay, this is an original. Okay, this is original S bolt. And here you can tell a big difference. Let me see if you can tell the difference on the S's. The S's is a different shape. On the repop, it's more grooved in, more. The S is a lot different. It's more of an S. So you can see the grooves in there. The S is a lot different. It's more square at the end. So yeah, the tip is more of a square. This is more thinner. This is more thicker. It's a little bit different. It doesn't. When you round these all the time, and then also you see these, you can tell that there's something wrong with this. It's an S with the bolt, but it's not the same. I like these thin S. Got badges, I got decals, feeder cables, got clamps, got bolts. This oldie is a throwback, this vintage. This is going on my Phantom. It has a lock, but it doesn't have the key, so I have to switch out the whole locking mechanism. OG Schwinn. Phantom on my Whizzer is a Yale 481. See that number right there? It's also stamped. .481. See it stamped on that. That's just like the code for the lock. AN 481. It's on the lock, and then they also stamp it on the key. AN 481. There's a vintage Schwinn cycle lock tag. How to operate Schwinn cycle lock. These are for like the pre-wars and post-war 40s and 50s bikes. Came with the cycle lock. I'll get into that later on. Maybe I'll do another video on cycle locks. But as far as the Springer, the OG Springer, another thing too is you could tell by the spring itself. Let me see if I have a spring. Spring looks like a cheap aftermarket China spring. Let's see, green eyes. And then a Schwinn spring. Here's a Schwinn spring right here. Schwinn spring. It kind of, a lot of them they bow out and they kind of have a nice little egg shape, real nice egg shape. Some the Whizzers are a little bit longer. Whizzer, like original Schwinn Whizzer springs, they're a little bit longer and they go flat and then they come down. You can find those, and those are nice to have. They're real heavy duty, sturdy. But the repops, what they do is they cone out real long, and then they bend, they curve, and then they cone down. So the cone starts like from right here down. These ones have like a round, almost like an egg shape. Let's see. I know I have one. I think I put it on a bike. Let's take a look. Let's go back here. This is a 64 Super Deluxe. Let's see if it gets. There's my Super Deluxe right here. Maybe I get some more light. I could do a little another showcase about it. Let's see if I have a repop spring somewhere. Figure out what I've done with it. I'm not sure what I've done with it. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. But yeah, you can always tell the Schwinn springs by the shape. They're more rounded, and then the aftermarket they cone down to a point, so you can tell that a small point. Another thing too is that the end circle right here will fit exactly around a bolt. That's fine. Got the bolt right here. So the bolt, see how snug? It's real snug around the bolt. So when you put it through, it's real snug. It fits real nice and tight. And then right here, should fit. This circle right here will fit around this snug right here, real nice and tight. So that way the spring doesn't bounce around and move up and down like this around inside the yoke. It keeps it seated, snug. And on the repop aftermarket springs, the hole's a lot bigger. So sometimes it comes with a little washer, and then it has this little. The washer has something like this, and it goes inside here, and then you put it on so it doesn't bounce around. I know I have one. I have one of those two somewhere, but so the hole is bigger. So if the spring is not snug, it's an aftermarket. If it's snug, it's a Schwinn. So it's like you still got maybe just a tiny bit of play, but it's still. See, this right here. This is an older Schwinn. So this goes with this. On the very old Schwinns, like the pre-wars and the post-wars, they don't have this. It's just it's like, it looks like this, but it's a larger circle. And what it is you see these springs with nuts inside of it. It has a nut that goes inside that large circle, and this screws onto that nut. So the nut, it goes inside into here, and then it screws onto it, so it doesn't come apart. It stays together. Let's see, do I have one somewhere? I think I do have one. No, I don't. It'll be like, see, these are the older style springers, and it has the key. Has the lock I was showing you earlier. This one don't have a key. I need to find a key for it. make something that's it's a brake hub. These are original Schwinn. They're modified to fit 20-inch from a 26-inch. I don't think I have one, but I have to dig it out somewhere. And so these will be together. So if you ever find them with a big hole, a bigger hole than this, it's actually just cut out, and then it has a nut, and then it screws in. It screws in through there, and you can see the little nut bouncing around inside. That's for the older bikes. That's for those ones with the different style. And let me see what else. And that should be it. Like if you ever come across these forks, even these forks, original repops, are going for big money. They're probably going for the same amount of money as the original crate forks. A lot of people are trying to sell these for $200, $250. The crate forks are going about that same price, $150, $250. These ones I bent. I just don't like this top bent on these because it kind of reminds me of the cruisers. The 26-inch cruisers, they go like this and then they bend out like that straight up. I like the nice curve, the Schwinn curve on the. I like the Schwinn curve on the original stuff. And this is not as thick either. It's real thin. I tried recurving the top to match that, but all it did was just bend right here more. This wasn't bending, and it's a little bit harder. It'd be a little bit harder to get that curve out of this, and it's real thin. It's a lot thinner than the original crates. Those ones are easier to bend. These ones were hard. You got these little kinks. You can see little kinks. It's not too bad, but it shows up. You see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different little kinks. It's kind of kinked it a little bit right there. Not too bad, but you can see they don't bend as good as the original forks. Those were made a lot sturdier, thicker metal. And the bolt is a little bit different. The bolt on these are different. But thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my page. Help me get to 1,000 followers. Maybe I could find. One thing I'm thinking of doing is doing a giveaway with some bent OG Springers. I could get some. I always come across these, and maybe I'll do a giveaway. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers, and we'll see what comes of it. And that's an idea that I'm thinking of doing. Some ideas of what's coming to the show. Maybe I'll give away some. I got some rims that I won. I'll probably give away. I got some frames. I could do the little tiger right there. Maybe I could give away that little tiger. Got all these parts. Not this. I'm gonna keep this. This is a little project I'm working on right now. That's my pig bike. Maybe I was thinking of doing a mini Phantom. That's why I have this. I was gonna do a mini Phantom, but I don't want to mess up that paint. I like that paint. Maybe I'll just throw all the parts on together anyways, and I have a tank for it. I got the tank, I got a rear rack, I got a chain guard. Maybe I'll make a pig bike, do the 64, one of these 64 handlebars like this style. '64 handlebars and a solo polo. I got a non-crimped square back, and I got 2 solo polos. I'm doing a 63, so I got 2 solo polos that I could use. One has a tag and one doesn't have a tag, but I want the one without the tag. I'm gonna put on a dog ear tag on it to make it look earlier. But thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Please like and subscribe. And be posted for more content. Schwinn Addiction out.